You got to slow down because you're talking so fast I can't understand you. I keep hearing all time, but that's all I'm getting.
You got to prove that you got power of attorney law over me, or I'll have to sue the courthouse for 100-fold.
Mr. Goodman, I don't have to prove a damn thing to you, sir. If you're here on the
you got to prove that you got power of attorney law over me. My name is not those capital letters, so I'm an Israelite from the 12 tribes. So what I'm saying is I'm representing myself. That's all that needs to be said. I'm a human being. I'm a living man. I'm a living being. I'm not no cargo. I'm not none of that.
Unless you are a price on a can of beans, we don't need a...
All right, everyone. Today we've got a wild one. Judge Oakley is back, and as always, he's handling a sovereign citizen in the best way possible. I have to say, I really respect the way he deals with these cases. Nobody does it better. Now, this guy in court today, he's facing charges for assaulting his girlfriend, but instead of he's pulling the usual sovereign citizen nonsense. Seriously, when will these people realize this tactic never works? As you watch, let me know what you think, because I have a strong suspicion this guy isn't exactly a genius. All right, let's get into it and see how this explosive hearing plays out.
Ready on Goodman?
Well, Your Honor, I spoke with Mr. Goodman. Mr. Goodman asked me to tell you that the prosecutor in this case has no power of attorney over him. He's an Israelite. There's no grounds under the bar code this matter should be dismissed. I believe he may want to represent himself. You may ask for some clarification if you talk to Mr. Goodman, but that's what he told me to tell you.
Thank you. Mr. Goodman, are you requesting that you represent yourself on this matter? You're muted, Mr. Goodman.
What I'm saying is nobody has power of attorney law over me through the barcode. I'm the beneficiary. My name is not those capital letters, so I'm an Israelite from the 12 tribes. So what I'm saying is I'm representing myself. That's all that needs to be said, because that's what the law is. I got common law jurisdiction. It's a non-violent crime. So I push for it to be dismissed under the barcode.
Well, it's not going to be dismissed today. So simple question. Are you representing yourself from this point forward? Yes or no?
Yes, I'm counseling myself.
All right. Mr. Bowditch, you're out. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I said, are you planning on filing a motion, or would you like to set this case for trial?
I'm planning on filing a motion to dismissal because there's no grounds or no standing over my case, because nobody has power of attorney law to hear me, to even take this process even further. You got to prove that first. You got to prove that you got power of attorney law over me to hear this matter. Okay, I'm an Israelite.
But you don't know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about. You don't have power of attorney law. The prosecutor don't have power of attorney law. You don't have power of attorney law. It's under the barcode.
Mr. Goodman, please do not interrupt me. I'm trying to be polite.
Okay, it's under the barcode, though. This is what you signed up to do. You're a public servant. So
right, unless you are a price on a can of beans, we don't need a barcode.
Yes, I am. I'm a human being. I'm not a deity. I'm a human being. I'm a living man. I'm a living being. I'm not no cargo. I'm not none of that. It's under the barcode. This is the real law.
Come
here.
You
have no standing or no ground.
Mr. Goodman, I'm going to give you a date for your motion.
I'm only here to threaten cohesion.
Pardon me?
I want all my rights intact to me at all times. Do you agree?
Oh, so this guy wants to keep every single right he thinks he has, even the imaginary ones, like the so-called right to drive without a license. That's just not how it works. Driving is a privilege, not a right, and the government regulates it for a reason. That's just basic law. But here's where it gets even more ridiculous. Now he's claiming to be an Israelite. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this really seems like a weak attempt to distance himself from the sovereign citizen label. Honestly, it looks like he's just trying to avoid the consequences of the nonsense he's been following. What do you all think? Drop your thoughts and let's get back into it.
I can't understand what you're saying. I think you're too close to your mic.
I want all my rights intact to me at all times. Do you agree?
I can't understand you, so no, I don't agree. I hear you're something
okay,
all the time.
I want all my rights intact to me at all times. I want all my rights intact to me at all times.
All right, I can't understand you.
Okay.
Are you still living on border? Are you still living on border? Mr. Goodman, are you still living on border?
Ashley, keep yourself muted, please. Your child keeps crying. Thank you.
No, I live somewhere else. I move.
All right, can you give me that address, please?
I stay at hotel rooms from time to time because I don't have no house right now. So I've been staying in hotel rooms.
Geographically, where are you at today?
Detroit, Michigan.
All right. So my next pretrial date is when, Heather?
It is March 8th.
All right. So Mr. Goodman, I'm going to give you a date on March 8th to file a motion. You file a motion, we'll hear it on March 8th. That's going to be in person.
Motion for dismissal?
Whatever you want to file a motion. You said you wanted to file a motion. So I'm giving you a hearing date for your motion.
What time?
We'll schedule that at 10 a.m. and this is going to be live. No Zoom.
All right.
I'm having trouble
All right. I want all my rights and text me all the time.
Pardon?
I'm only here to threaten confusion. I just want all my rights and text me all the time. And everybody just got to prove that they got power of attorney law.
You got to slow down because you're talking so fast I can't understand you. I keep hearing all time, but that's all I'm getting.
Okay, what I'm saying is for the dismissal, I'm about to put it in today. You got to prove that you got power of attorney law over me. I'm going to have to sue the courthouse for 100-fold.
Mr. Goodman, I don't have to prove a damn thing to you, sir. If you're here on the
you got to prove that you got power of attorney law over me. You don't have power. I don't care what you're talking about. You got
attorney over you, Mr. Goodman.
Yes, you do. You need power of attorney law to talk to me. You ain't got no ground. You ain't no standing. You ain't got no ground to understand it. I got the affidavit of truth right here. I got authenticate birth certificate. I got a letter of intent over here right now. I broke all my contracts with the government. I'm not those capital letters. I'm with the 12 tribes of Israel. My name is Israel. I'm an Israelite. I'm with the 12 tribes of Israel. You don't got no power of attorney law over me. I'm pushing for dismissal. I'm suing your courthouse for 100-fold.
Here we go again. Another sovereign citizen threatening to sue the court for $100 like that's ever worked for anyone. The truth is, you can't sue a court just for doing its job. It's just not how the legal system works. For those who don't know, judges have something called judicial immunity, which protects them from lawsuits over their courtroom decisions. So every time one of these guys tries to pull the "I'm suing you" move, it's nothing but a giant waste of time. But what really blows my mind is, well, you'll see. Let's keep watching.
Try it again, counsel. I'm sorry.
Good morning, Your Honor. Patricia Manning for the people, P84088.
All right. And Mr. Goodman, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And Ms. Murphy, what are we doing on these files?
Judge, it's my understanding that Mr. Goodman has an appointment at the Forensic Center on January 31st. As Your Honor knows, he has pending cases in Frank Murphy. He went before Judge Michael Callahan yesterday. He was, his bond was reinstated with a tether. I believe Your Honor has put a 250, 10% bond on Mr. Goodman. You know, Your Honor, that I'm going to ask you to reduce that bond to something affordable.
All right, so I've got two files. One file's got that 250, 10% with a GPS tether. That would be the February 5, 2022 incident date. And then the other file, which is the misdemeanor file from May 10, 2019, he's just on a personal on that one with a GPS tether.
Right, and you know, Your Honor, that I don't represent him on the DV.
Right. But he finally does have a date for a forensic exam?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. So you just want to adjourn the PCC?
Yes, Judge. And ask for a reduction in bond.
Thank you. And Mr. Goodman, have you talked to an attorney on the domestic violence case, or are you representing yourself on that one?
I have nobody to represent me. I think it was Langford or something was supposed to be my attorney. I'm not sure how it went south.
Okay. All right, counsel, go ahead and make your bond argument. But before you do, just so we're all on the same page, my notes say it's $25,000, 10%, no contact with complaining victim, and GPS tether. Is that your understanding?
So, Judge, I thought it was $250,000, 10%, $25,000.
I don't know what I just said, but my file says 250. Well, yeah, 250,000, 10%. Correct.
So, Judge, I mean, obviously that's unaffordable. Mr. Goodman is not a man of means.
Who could have guessed? Just one look at this guy, and I'd bet he's got a grand total of $2 and a Tootsie Roll in his piggy bank. And honestly, it's no shock that even the public defenders want nothing to do with him. Now, for those who don't know, public defenders are legally required to represent people who can't afford an attorney. But even they can refuse a case if there's A, of interest, or if the client is just completely impossible to work with, which, let's be real, seems to be the case here. Oh, and let's not forget, this guy's facing a full-on domestic violence charge for assaulting his girlfriend. That's an actual crime with serious consequences, and no amount of fake legal jargon is going to get him off the hook. All right, let's jump back in and see how this mess unfolds.
He and his significant other just acquired new housing, Your Honor. They have a baby. Mr. Goodman needs to be there to assist with childcare responsibilities because both of them were working before Mr. Goodman was taken into custody. I know we've had some issues, Your Honor, with appearing in court. Mr. Goodman has had transportation issues with respect to getting to the forensic center, and that was his issue, Judge. The tether violation was simply a malfunction of equipment, so I would ask Your Honor to, and since they do not have means, Your Honor, I would ask Your Honor to reduce I'm asking Your Honor for a personal with the tether.
Response. And counsel, you don't have to jump up to talk to me. I know it's instinctive, but it's okay if you don't.
Thank you, Your Honor. It is instinctive. Your Honor, in this case, he is before us for a misdemeanor DV. I understand he does have some pending felonies. I understand he's on a GPS tether for the felonies. I believe at this time, the most important thing is that he remain on, or that if he is released, he remains on a GPS tether. So in this case, I would not object to a personal bond.
Sorry. Ms. Murphy, unfortunately, this is one of those situations where I don't care what the parties think, because I've got a long history. This building's got a long history with Mr. Goodman not showing up in court. So I set the bond for that reason. I'm keeping the bond as it is for that reason.
I absolutely love Judge Oakley, guys. You can just tell he's a genuinely good guy who doesn't tolerate nonsense. Even when both sides were ready to let this clown walk free, Judge Oakley wasn't having it. He knew exactly how to handle the situation and gave this guy a much-needed reality check. And honestly, that's exactly what a good judge should do. Hold people accountable instead of them slip through the cracks. What did you all think about this case? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Personally, I thought it was solid, and it's always refreshing to watch Judge Oakley do his thing.
All right, why were you late for court?
I really don't got an excuse, besides I got insomnia.
I'm sorry, what?
I really don't got an excuse, but I got insomnia.
He overslept, Judge.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying.
All right, so here's the thing. You need to be on time for court. Otherwise, you know what's going to end up happening? Whether you're 20 or 18, guess what? We'll make sure that you come on time. If you're not on time, we'll know where you are. You know how we'll know that?
Got my address.
I'm sorry, what?
I said, y'all got my address.
No, because you'll be in Orange. And we'll bring you over from the jail. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
How far did you go in school?
In school?
Yes.
To 10th grade.
All right, why did you only go to the 10th grade?
I dropped out.
Why?
Because there was like a lot of drama.
All right, so let me explain to you about drama. Drama is you coming before the court and not addressing the court properly. Drama is using slang and not proper English coming before the court. So my advice is you probably want to get your GED so that you can get a job, because now it is hard to get good employment without at least a high school diploma. And even if you have a high school diploma, it's still hard. Guess what? People who go to college, and I'm not talking to people who go to college and they're getting a degree in philosophy, finding a job. I mean, people who are going to college, getting a degree in engineering, biology, they're all having a hard time finding employment. So you come along and you don't even have a 10th grade education and you're trying to get employment, it does not look good. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you employed?
I was employed.
So that's a no, right? You're not working?
No, ma'am.
So that means that your mom or somebody is supporting you, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So when you come back here, On the 27th, you're going to come on time and you're going to address the court properly. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. We have excuse?
Yes. Once you sign the reset form.
I just had to include that last clip because, honestly, it's wild to see someone talk to a judge like they're chatting with a friend. You can't just walk into court and act like you're hanging out at a bar with your buddies. It doesn't work like that. But what I really wanted to talk about is that citizen case. This guy was screaming on Zoom the first time, and I have to say one of the most ridiculous things I've ever seen. You can't behave like that in court, in an online. Honestly, I think sovereign citizens should be forced to appear in. Something about facing the judge makes it way harder for them to pull their usual. It's easy to act tough behind a screen, but standing in front of a judge, that's a whole different story. And on that note, it really feels like judges are getting softer these days. I get it. Everyone deserves a fair shot. But there's a difference between fairness and letting waste the court's time. Some of these sovereign citizens need a serious reality check, not endless chances to embarrass themselves. Judges need to stop letting these guys drag things out and just shut it down. At the end of the day, they have the power to keep the process instead of letting it turn into a circus. All right, that's enough of my rant. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Do you think Judge Oakley was fair in that first hearing? Personally, I think he was more than fair. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoy this kind of content, I'd really appreciate a like and subscribe. I post every day, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. Take care, and I'll see you next time.